Hi, good evening. I am going to be doing some abstract painting. You can paint along with me, or you can just watch. Just waiting for a couple of more people to join. I'm just flipping through one of my old journals while people come along. We're going to be doing some fun abstract painting today, so you can pick up whatever paints you have, or if you have color pencils or sketch pens, you can paint along with me. And some abstracts, and yeah, there's one more. So this is one of my journals which is almost over. So I'm going to be starting a new one now, and which is why I'm doing the live today, because I'm super excited. So this is one of my books which is almost done. I will be doing a little video of this book soon. So we're done with this, and this is my next book, and I'm going to be begin painting on this today. So I'm going to be doing abstracts. So if you just joined, you could pick up some pen and paper and colors or sketch pens or pencils or crayons or whatever you have, and paint along. So I'm working with abstracts with acrylic paint, and we will be doing some fun painting now. So I'm just going to adjust the camera a bit so that there's enough. All right, so I'm going to be working with artists paints, acrylic colors, but you can paint with anything, any colors. I also have these tubes. These are again Fevicryl acrylic colors. You can use these. You can use the tubes. You can also use these. These are again Fabrica acrylic colors by Camel. So you can use these also. You can use any of these that you like. If you are not painting along, you could just watch, because we're going to be doing a couple of abstract patterns running around the paper. So this is of Brustro. I love this yellow from Brustro, and like I mentioned, some other mix and match of colors. Now, why I love abstracts is purely because you have the freedom to do what you want. You don't have, it's not too strenuous on your brain. It's not too much of following rules. I do not like to follow rules. I am a rebel by birth, if I can say so. It's fun to work with random colors. So I'm going to start off on this. So I'm going to be doing two sides. I'm going to be doing both sides of the page. So we're going to do one side here, and I'm going to start off with a yellow. So I'm going to be using fingers and brushes today. So just to give you an idea, I'm using this one. This is beautiful. It's a yellow medium, but it's kind of like an orange, a beautiful orange. So you could also use this. And I'm not going to be using the palette today. I'm going to be using my base paper, which is again a lot of fun to use. So we're just going to start off directly on the paper. So I have my water jug and a waste cloth, and very quickly I'm going to be starting off my paint, and just take a little bit of water, pick up paint, and randomly just run the paint around wherever you want on your page. You could do shades. So the advantage of doing it with your finger is you can get like little textures, random textures, because we're doing abstracts. So when you do it with your finger, it's a lot of fun, because you're doing abstracts, and it's uneven texturing basically. So if you are not too comfortable, what you can do is put a little paper here so that you don't soil the next sheet. And yeah, so again I'm going to add a little bit here, and maybe a little bit here. So we've done that, and after this I'm going to move on to my next color. So I'm going to move on to a yellow, a little bit of a yellow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix yellow and green. So I have a tad bit of yellow and a little bit of the sap green. You could use a bottle, you could use any form of paint, you know, any thick or light, dark. You can even use watercolors. If you are using watercolors, you can use watercolors. You can use any green if you like, and any form of green. A little mishap. So I'm using this. This is a beautiful, this is actually Viridian, but you can use it, just give it a beautiful color. Add a little more of yellow. Got a beautiful green. You can again add water and just merge these colors running around. So acrylics dry really quickly, so in case you want to merge two colors, you need to work quick, but otherwise it's good to overlap them. You can overlap the colors, you can just work however you like. Then I've got a little bit of yellow and green. I'm going to just run it around here, and now I might use the brush now because I want to do a little bit of detailing. So I've got turquoise, regular turquoise, what you get in the tubes, and we're just going to add a little bit of white to it. So this is the turquoise that I'm using. This is turquoise deep of Camlin, and all you're going to do is add white to it. So you could use a brush or you can use your finger, like I said. So just a very uneven texture. So we've got the color, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to run it here. And like I said, you could use a sheet on the other side. And just, the beauty of acrylics is that they dry quickly, so you could just keep doing layers and layers and layers on top. And because we're doing abstracts with acrylics, there is no particular rule to follow. You could go about however you like, and I think today is one of those days where I do not want to follow rules. Well, not like I follow rules on other days, but yeah. So it's nice to just free your mind and just go about however you want. So again, so done that, and the next color I am going to be using is a blue. So I have like a nice blue. So I enjoy doing it with my finger also because you get the feel of the paint. It's always nice to feel, which is why I promote handmade products, because it's always nice to get the feel of the paint. So it's nice to, and just go about here and just a little bit on the other side. So we've got them on both sides. Here's that. And my most favorite part is where I love to merge whatever paints I have. So I have the blue. I'm going to merge it with the orange. It's going to give me a different shade of greenish brown, like more like a sap green. And I'm just going to run that into my page. You can touch a little bit of water just running through. Again, abstracts is different. There's no meaning to the painting, because many a times when I make abstracts, people ask me, what does it mean? No, there is no meaning. That is why it's abstract. It's just color, it's just paint, it's just something that has no meaning. It's just to feel good. Just look at it and just absorb it. It's as simple as that. You don't need to really make meaning out of it. It could just be some random lines or circles or anything running around. So we've got this done, and we've got this here, right? And the next color that I really enjoy using is brown. I love brown. Brown is one of my most favorite colors. I love brown and gray for some reason. I think they're just so they have like a mind of their own, and they're very comforting. So I love brown and gray, and I'm going to just use a little bit of brown and white in a few places here and there. So again, mixing brown and just adding a little bit here. Now you could use whatever color you like. You could use, there's so many colors that are there on the palette. You can use any color that you like. And again, on the other side of the page, you can go vertical, horizontal, you can go however you like. You don't have to follow a particular rule. We are going to be doing a little bit of detailing on top of this, so if you want to, you could just cover the whole space, or you can just let it be however you want. Right, so this is almost dried up. I'm just going to finish up. Yeah, I'm someone who does not like to waste paint, so what happens is whatever's paint is left, I kind of mix and match and make another shade of paint. So which is why it works when you're doing abstracts, because you can just merge the colors and come up with your own shade. So right, yeah. So we are done with this part of the page, and then of course I have the other side, and you can just mix and match colors. Like I said, you can use different shades. I've just used about just about 4 or 5 shades, but you can use a whole lot of other shades that are there. And now for the detailing. So for detailing, I'm going to move on to some brighter colors. I have this beautiful fuchsia kind of a color, and it's brill purple, but it leaves a beautiful color on the page. So we are just going to add a little bit of detailing on the page. You can pick any corner and just start drawing random lines. So it's nice to work with bright colors. You can use any color that you like, lots of bright colors. You can use yellows, orange. You can use, if you have the neon shades, you can use neon pinks, or the neon yellow and orange, green. You can use those colors. So there's no particular planning when you do abstracts, because it's just random. That's the whole idea. So you can just go around randomly placing paint around your page. So I have a little space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some leaves here. I'm going to use like a beautiful green, a combination of green and blue. So I'm going to be using a little bit of sap green and a blue. So you can use a combination of sap green and blue, and I'm not washing my brush. I'm using the same color the same brush, which has a little bit of purple and a little bit of green, and I've added blue to it. So we're just going to go, it's got a different, like a darker green, so you could add like a little bit of white. You can also work with ink. If you're fond of ink, you can work with ink. You can paint with ink. Ink is another beautiful medium to paint with. So you can just go around. So I've added like a little bit of white to this. And now I'm going to add like a little bit of blue. So we have the white and the blue. So we have a beautiful shade now. I love the shade. It's a nice greenish, bluish, grayish shade. So we are done, and just make sure it's not too thick or not too watery, because if you're going to paint on top of this, so then you need to have it at a good texture of a good thickness. So I'm just going to go just going around drawing some random leaves. You can also work around texturing. You know, you can use texturing of acrylic paints, because you know, when we're doing this, so you will not get this with the fingers. So that's why what we do, the basic painting, what we do is with the base we did with fingers, and the top part we are going to paint, because it's going to be tough for you to make leaves with the fingers. So, and I'm going to make one more leaf here and just add like a little random stem and a leaf again. Again, I would like to mention that abstracts have no meaning. It's just feel good painting. You don't really need to make meaning out of it. So I've done these leaves here, and now on the other side I'm just going to, whatever little paint I have, I'm just going to maybe make shapes or make little patterns, or you could do just lines like this, little lines running through, or just dots or spots or whatever you like. Done that, and now I'm going to move on to my next shade, which is I'm going to try and use the bright yellow. So we have the bright yellow, and I'm going to turn my book upside down, because I'm going to do it on this side. So again, like I mentioned, just have the paint. So again, I'm just using, so that's what I'm doing. I'm using random yellow and greens and little bit of tinge of sap green to this, and I'm just going to make like random circles. Now, because I'm doing abstracts, I'm going to take it a little closer to you. You can see it's not very finished, but that is the idea. We are not going to give it like a proper finished look. You could even do ovals. You can do a tinge of green, and you can do something like an oval. So I'm going to do like an oval here. Again, like I mentioned, very abstract. So you see I'm just going around, and that's all. Not really stressing too much on the the shade and the shape. Just randomly picking up paint off the page and just of your palette if you want to, and you can just go randomly forming circles, triangles, whatever you like. And because it's abstract, you could even give it like a texture, like a little uneven texture kind of a thing, so which will dry really well, give it like an overlapping layer kind of a thing. Right, so we have that. So that's the one that I was talking about. You can see how I've given a little uneven texture, which is nice because it works beautifully once it dries. You can see the paint, it's got like a little, because of course you need to use thicker paint, you can't use thinner paint for this, and it's always nice to use thicker paint for textures like that. And just drawing some little circles, squares on the other side of the page. Just again, like I said, abstracts are, you don't need to think too much. So there are days when you do not want to think too much, you do not want to like explain what you're going through, you don't want to explain what's going on in your mind, so just do abstracts. I mean, I didn't even think of what I was going to do, so just pick up the brush, take some paints and just start doing it. So again, you could do a double layer here, another layer here. Because when you use thicker paint, you can give it a little texturing like this, like I'm letting paint, just dabbing paint on the page rather. So you can do that when you are doing thicker paint, but when you're using thinner paint, you need to be careful. So we are done with this, and even here on the circle, since I have a little bit of yellow, I could just give it a little, an extra circle, because it has almost dried. Like I mentioned, acrylics dry really quick, so you can give it like an extra layer here, and one more here. Yep, and we are done with that part of the page. So you can see the size, this is the side that I started off with. It's the base we just painted with fingers, and just the top part that I used a little bit of brush. Similarly here, the leaves and the circles are with the brush, but otherwise you could just use your fingers and explore, and it's nice to use your fingers because it's a feel-good thing when you work with when you feel the paint, it feels nice. So that's a little closer picture of the page. Again, you can use different colors. You can use black if you like, you can use dark blue, you can use gray. I'm going to be adding a little bit of detailing here, so I'm going to be using some more colors. You can use brush pens, you can use sketch pens, you can use watercolors. I also have black of the tube, so you can use this one also. This is another beautiful color. The thickness of this, because not color, I meant the thickness. So I love the texture of the tube, the black paint, because in this tube, because these are artist acrylic colors. So I use this for my canvases because it's nice and thick compared to the ones that come in the bottles. So again, just adding a little bit of texture, patterns. You can dilute it a little bit, not too much, because otherwise it'll get watery. And just run over wherever you think you want to add a little bit of a little bit of a leaf there. And again, if you want to add a little bit, add more details to these, you could just wait for it to dry for a bit, or you could use the hot gun. And I'm just going to drop paint here, so it's another technique that you can use. Just drop paint here and then use your brush to mix the two, give it a little uneven, like a dab. So you can do that. You can use your finger also if you want to, just a little bit of uneven textures here and there. And again, you can use a sketch pen for this also if you want to. You don't have to use paint. If you're not very comfortable with the grip of the brush, you can use a sketch pen like a Posca or a Staedtler marker pen. So you've got that, and we've got on this side. Now on the other side, I'm going to turn the page again, and we've got the leaves on that side. So I'm going to turn it around because this is a double side book, so I need to be a little careful, right? So again, on this, I'm just going to put like little random circles, just very, very random little uneven spots. We've got that ready, and you could also add, like, a little bit of patches. Like I have a little bit of a paper here, so I've just like dipped it in the black paint, and you could just like randomly press, it works like a stencil. You could do that. It's a lot fun to do that. So you have like abstract patches, and I'm just going to press it on the page, and I'm going to take that off. So that's also a lot of fun. We used to do this when we were kids, stenciling, random stenciling. You could use colors. You don't have to use black by itself, but you could use colors also. So I just dabbed it on the paint that I was using, and I have a little bit on the sheet, a little bit. Press that and pick it up, and you have like a, like an average random texture there. Right, so the next one, yes, I also use the knife a lot. Today I haven't used it, but I also use the knife a lot because it's good fun to use it in abstract. So I'm going to try and turn the camera a bit so that you can take a look at the full page. And that is the full page. Sorry for my little mishap here. Yeah, so that's the full page, but you could also add a little bit of a detailing in case if you want to. If you like bright colors, if you like a lot of funky colors, you can add bright pink. You can add like a bright neon green or a neon blue. I have Crimson Lake, a little bit of Crimson Lake. I'm going to try and use a little bit of Crimson Lake here. Again, just to add a little bit to it. So I'm just going to add like a few spots here and there just to give it a little bit of a color. So I have Crimson Lake here, just taking it off from the tube itself. And I'm just going to add some dots here and there. So just random dots here and there. So every time you use it on a different color, like for example, it'll turn out very different when you're using it on the green. It looks very different when you're using it on the blue. When it looks very different when you're using it on the gray or any other color. So you can use that. Again, you can use the same, the same color. If you want to balance it, again, it's not a rule. You do not have to do it. But if you want to balance, have the similar colors on both sides, you can do that. But this is, you can use anything. It's abstracts. Thank you so much. I am seeing that a couple of you are liking it. Thank you so much. Please, if you like it, do try it. Or if you could just share this on your story, it would help so that more people can make art and be happy. I think that's what I always tell. People who make art are happy people. So, right. So I've added a little bit of red to it and added lots of colors, lots of chaos happening, but it's good. It's comfortable chaos, if I may say. So if you've liked this video and if you have liked my live, I'm going to save it onto my IGTV. Please try it whenever you have time. Otherwise, just share it with your friends so that they can make it. I do not like to waste paint, like I always say. So I have paint here, and all I'm just going to do is just dab it here randomly. So just dab it here and there. I mean, that's the beauty about abstract. You can just go on and on and on and on. So that's it, I think. But you can also add, like for example, if you want to add a little bit of detailing with your pen, you could also do that. All right, so I'm going to just show you quickly with my pen. Where did I find where my pens are? First world problems, right? So I'm using this one. You can get it off. This is of STA pigment liner. You can use any of these. So I'm going to be using the 0.8. Just make sure it is dried well enough before you try and doodle. So thank you so much, whoever has commented and is saying it's pretty. Thank you so much. So I'm going to turn the sheet because I just want to show you what you could do. So we have this section that is here, right? So we have that section, and what we're going to do is you're just going to use your pen and just make sure it's dried well so that you don't mess it up. Your pen nib doesn't go into your paint. So you can use your marker pen or any pen and just draw random abstract shapes like these. So I have not planned anything. I am not going in a particular direction. I'm just doing what does not make sense. So like I mentioned, you see that? Just random abstracts. You can do that. You can do it in this corner. You can do it in the other corner. You can do it wherever you like. So the whole idea of abstracts is that you do not follow rules, and acrylic paint is the best thing to do when you're doing abstracts because it dries very quickly and it just works with you. So I'm just gonna go again, like I mentioned, very random, just go around. It does take practice to not follow rules. If you are someone who is used to following rules, it will take you some time to unfollow rules to get these uneven patterns, because it took me quite some time, a lot of unlearning to not follow these. But yes, so that's about it. You could add, like I said, it's never ending. You can just keep adding and adding and adding, and come up with a whole lot of crazy stuff. So if you have brush pens, you can use brush pens. If you have paint, you could use paint. If you have, like, I think I can use a little bit of yellow here if there is, or you could use a blue, anything. It just doesn't matter. You can just work with your color. So I'm gonna do a little bit extra. So just take your thinnest brush that you have, and just start from here. So I'm gonna go again, go. Right, so you just start and stop wherever you want, which is again good fun to go with. Alright, yes, we are done. Yes, I will be saving this video on to the IGTV. It will be on the IGTV for your reference. I'm going to be doing live every day now at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is, I will be putting up the poster, so mostly I'm going to be doing 10 p.m. live sessions every day. So because it's going to be mostly abstracts, either with acrylics or watercolors. So this is going to be on my IGTV. I hope you make some beautiful abstracts, and please do send me pictures or let me know what you think of this. You can, if you like it, please share it on your story and tag me so that people can refer to this video and make some more beautiful art. Okay, thank you so much. And of course, yes, most important thing which I always tell everybody is please write your name. So right, so write your name onto that. And thank you whoever was a part of this or whoever joined late and stayed on. Thank you so much. I hope you had fun, and I am going to try and come up with some beautiful abstracts tomorrow. Let's see, we could do something interesting. 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Earlier I was doing these during the lockdown. I was doing these sessions at 5 p.m. every day for about 2 months. But I think now 5 p.m. is a little tricky for everybody. But 10 p.m. is good fun because it's very quiet and you can just watch this. Last week somebody told me after watching me paint, they went to sleep and they slept very well. So I was super thrilled because this is therapy, right? This is therapy. Watching someone paint or painting yourself is therapy. So I hope you had fun, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, good night, sleep tight, and keep smiling and be happy. Bye, take care, thank you.